Assalamu alaikum. So, session 2 of this C programming is variables and then data types. Variables is just like actors you use in programming. Common actors need I can find the wajen programming like guys, just like objects we use to program your code. Then data types just like is a way of saying types of data. Like what type of data do you use? Is it integer or string? Is it alphabet or sentence words or number that has points? Okay. So this is what variables and data type is. So the objectives of this session is discuss variables, differentiate between variables and constants, list the different data types and make use of them in C programs, discuss arithmetic operators. So here they said variables data in a memory. Each location in the memory is what you need. A variable allows you to provide a meaningful name for the location in the memory. Just like to when guys, when actors like amfani da shi wurin program ɗinki, it has to have a space in your memory, right? Like kowanne akwai position ɗinsa. So example, this you can remember this, right? This pseudocode. Begin, display, enter two numbers, input A, B, C, the formula, then display C and end result. So here A, B, C are what variables in pseudocode. So kin gani ana A, B da C they are what? They are variables. Kin ga su ne actors and without them there's no way you can handle there's no way you can code. You understand? So variable names takes away the need for a programmer to access memory location using their address. So another important of variable is that you don't have to like search for the location in the address for the address. What you need to do is once you declare a variable, you just use the variables just like this A, B and C. In ga ba ruwanki da ina wani position yake a cikin memory ko wannan, kawai in dai har kika yi declaring variables din, you just need to use the variables just like the actors. So the operating system takes care of allocating space for the variable. To refer to the value in the memory space, we need to only use the what? Variable name. You don't need to use the what's it called? The location space. Kin gane kawai variable name ɗin kawai ake amfani da shi. And variable name could be anything. It could be A, B, C, D, E har zuwa Z, X, Y, Z. You know, you get. And it can also be a name, just like a word, maybe age, name. It can be anything. Kin gane? So a constant is a value whose what never changes. And there's what we call constant. You know what constant is, right? Just like when you're using your normal day-to-day English, you say this thing is constant, like it doesn't change. I believe you are a science student, so you know what constant is, right? Something that doesn't change. So example here, 5 is a 5. 5 is a numeric integer constant. You get why 5.3 is always 5.3 because it's numeric and it's a what float constant. Black is always black. It can't be changed, right? So string constant, character C is a character constant. So variable hold constant values also. So variables is just like a bag or something that holds a data in it. You get it's something that holds what data in it. So the names of variables, functions, labels, and various other users defined objects are called what identifiers. The names of variables, you know what variable is, right? The actor, something that holds something like a bag, just let's just say a memory that holds a bunch of data. Then the name of variables, functions, labels, and various other user-defined objects are called identifiers. So all of them are called identifiers. Some correct identifier names are as follows: arena. And there's one thing with identifier names like variable. If you want to give a variable name, you don't have to give a space. You either write a word, or if you want to give a space, you what give an underscore in between the wordings. So like here, arena is a one word. Then S count, there's a space. So when you write S count without putting underscore below, it's an error. It won't work. You understand? So it doesn't accept space. Then max 40 is also an identifier name. can be class 1 kin ga 1 ɗin ma da ya yake da suna underscore. So examples of erroneous identifiers, like examples of what? Um, examples of erroneous identifier, those you use with what? When if you use this any of these what's it called? If you use any of these variables, you will definitely have error. Like this one test a variable name, an identifier name. That you don't need to start identifier name with what? With number. And exclamation mark is invalid. Start then the dash end is also invalid. So if you use any of these three, you definitely face a bug. Dole sai da in kika yi run ɗin shi zai kasance mai da error. You understand? So identifier can be of any convenient length, but the number of characters in a variable that are recognized by a compiler varies from compiler to compiler. So again, identifiers in C are what? Case sensitive. You know what case sensitive is, right? Like Zara in capital letter is different from Zara in small letter. Did you understand? Then variable name should begin with an alphabet. These are the what? Guidelines for naming identifiers. Guidelines for naming identifiers. You know identifiers. Variable is also known as what? Identifier. So variable name should begin with an alphabet. The first character can be followed by alphanumeric character. Proper name should be avoided while naming variables. A variable name should be meaningful and descriptive. For example, you want to use age. Don't go and use another name to represent the age. Just have to use what the age, so that anyone who sees it knows that okay, you are storing ages of people in the memory. You understand? So confusing letters should be avoided. Some standard variable naming conventions should be followed while programming. Then the keywords. Keywords, all languages reserve certain words for their internal use. You know what keyword is, right? Like keyword, there are those reserved words that have been saved with what? With the programming language. Like it's only used, you can only use it when needs be. You understand? All languages have certain words for their internal keywords. For example, int. Int is a keyword. You don't have to, you can't declare a variable with int. You just can't say int is your variable. Int is your actual, int is the object you are going to use in your program. You understand? So keywords are all languages reserve certain words for their internal use. Then keywords hold a special meaning within the context of a particular language. No problem of conflict as long as the keyword and the variable can be distinguished. For example, having integer as a variable name is perfectly valid even though it contains the keyword int. You understand? You can make a variable as integer, but you can't make a variable as int. Do you understand? Because int is a what? Is a keyword. Do you understand? So different types of data are stored in variables. Some examples are whole numbers, for example 10, 2, or 1789345. Real numbers, for example 15.22 or 153.2225. Then positive numbers, negative numbers, for example names, for example John. Logical value, and again. Then logical values, for example yes or no. So a data type describes the kind of data that will fit into a variable. Do you understand? A data type describes the kind of data that will fit into a variable. The name of the variable is preceded with the data type. So here, if you want to declare a variable, you have to, the name of the variable is preceded with the what? Data type. So the first thing you need to do is to write down the data type. And you know we have data type, different types of data type. We have int, string. I believe you've done that before, right? In programming and PPT. Int stores what? Integer value. Float stores what number with point. Float double also stores what number with point. Then what again? String stores what, right? So all these ones, they are what data types. So for example, you want to use age in your program. What do you need to use? You use int, right? Because it's a whole number integer. So you use data type, then variable name. As you can see here, data type, variable name. What is our data type? Int. Then var name, it could be anything. Int age, int number, int anything you can use. You understand? So that's how to, if you want to declare a variable, that's how you do it. You get. Basic data types are int, int, float, double, char. Int stores what integer value, whole numbers. Float stores number with points, one number with points. Char, Shikma stores what character. Void, well, void sometimes it's not. We don't normally use void in our variables, but sometimes it's included. So char stores what character value. Type int num cannot then store any other type of data like Alan or ABC. You get? You can see int stores numeric data. You can't store Alan or ABC. Kin gane? Kuma int always has what 16 bits. That's what 2 bytes, 8 bits. 8 bits is 1 byte. 16 bits is 2 bytes. The integers in the range from -2 to 3267. Examples 12320 -232. All these ones, they are what integer. So when you declare variables as integer, you can store alphabets or words in them. You only store what numbers. Did you understand? Then stores value containing decimal places. You can type float, it stores what values containing decimal places. Float number precision to up to 6 digits, 32 bits. Even int stores what 16 bits. Shikwana stores what 32 bits, which is 4 bytes of memory. Example, you get. Then double containing decimal point precision up to 10 digits. You get that one she float is 6 digits. Shikwana 10 digits. You understand? The Shikuma is what 64-bit. Example of double, you can use any of these. Here kin gane nan sun yi mistake. One number shi ya kamata su sa a number. Kin gane? Since they are character, special ka ne a wannan integer. So what they need to use here is number that has point. Kin gane 22.334 da sauransu. Then car, kin gane mistake ne suka they repeated this down here. So car gender is equals to M. You get? Store the single character of information. Car 8 bits. Car. So 8-bit car gender is equals to M. Examples. Then type void stores nothing. It stores what? Nothing in then. So type void stores nothing, indicating that there is nothing to expect. Void stores what? Empty something. You get. So the data types, basic types, derived data types. Unsigned plus int is unsigned, permits only positive numbers. Short int occupies less memory space. Long int occupies space than int and double. So signed and unsigned types specifies that a variable can take only positive values. Var num is allocated 2 bytes. The modifier may be used with the int and float data types. So Unsigned type specifies that a variable can take only positive values. Though sometimes we don't use unsigned and signed, mostly they use it in back kind of numeric value. So what we need to do here is we just use what's it called, int or float or double. We don't need any unsigned or signed something. You get? So unsigned int supports range from 0 to 6,565,535. Short int occupies only 8 bit, which is one byte. Allows numbers in the range from -128 to 127. Then long int occupies 32 bit, and it's 4 bytes. So long double occupies 128 bits, which is 16 bytes. And there's a table for it. Okay, unsigned sign character, int unsigned int sign int short int unsigned short int, and then maximum and minimum range. Then sample declaration. This is how you declare it, Roshi. Car ABC, int xyz, float length, double area, long lifestyle, short arm. All these ones, they are what? This is how you declare variables. You get? Hmm? If you want to use int age, you write int age, float length, double area, and so on and so forth. So ta-da! We're done with session 2, and let's move on.